Hi, soul friends. It's Virginia Scheuer. Welcome to Hello Soul, the Virginia Scheuer Show. So, if you're feeling overwhelmed, spinning in your thoughts, or stuck in a situation that just won't resolve, this episode is for you. And if you feel like maybe you'll feel that again, this episode is for you too. I've titled it, Before You Attempt to Fix It, Try This. Because we've been taught to fix it, to figure it out, to push through the discomfort. What if the answer isn't in the fixing? It's in the feeling. It's in the softening. It's in the return. Today, I'm inviting you in a different way, a way that honors your body, your emotions, and your soul. A way that brings you back into coherence, into connection, and ultimately into the kind of clarity that doesn't come from the mind, but from something much deeper. So, if you're tired of looping in the same patterns or trying to force your way into peace, pause, breathe with me, and let this episode be your gentle turning point. This is your invitation to feel what's real, find what's true, focus on what matters, and flow back into your alignment. All right. Are you ready to say hello to your soul? If so, let's begin. Whenever there is a disruption and things aren't going the way you want to, you are feeling upset or frustrated or annoyed or enraged about a situation. Whenever that is happening, the one thing you want is to have clarity, to have a coming together, to sort it out, and to figure out how to resolve the situation, right? Like ultimately you want to feel better, and ultimately you want the situation to go how you want it to go. And that does not happen when you're feeling the way you do. To get what you want, to be able to come into a knowing of what your soul, your body, your everything truly needs, you must come into alignment with your mind, body, soul, spirit. This connects you to God, source, all that is. And when that connection happens, your nervous system regulates and you become in coherence. Coherence by heartmath.org just means that your mind and your heart are moving in the same direction. They are in contact with each other through the nervous system. And the way that happens is by you finding your safety and by finding your peace. Some call it safety, some call it peace. And this doesn't come through thinking alone. And so we used to believe that just thinking the thought pattern over and over, like saying, I am wealthy, for instance, over and over and over would make you wealthy. Well, the problem is that you don't believe you're wealthy. And if you don't down heart believe that you're wealthy, saying it over and over and over isn't going to change it for you. You have to actually say something that you believe in order for you to have coherence with your body. And so there is a shifting, a reframing that has to happen with how you're saying what you're saying. But first, you need to feel how you feel. You need to accept and feel how you feel. And many of us, myself included, bypassed how we felt in order to just think our way into it. And overthinking and overprocessing and overfiguring it out is not a connection to soul. It's a connection to mind. And that mind, man, it is so intelligent. It is so intelligent that it will keep you safe by throwing you back into the same patterns over and over again. How do we get out of the patterns that we have over and over again? It's by being in the present moment. It's by accepting the present moment that things are shitty. Accepting the present moment that things are not okay, and being okay with being not okay, and surrendering and allowing yourself to say to God and the universe, I don't know. I can't figure this out. Please, I let go of doing. I let go of action. I am going to intentionally feel better right now. And how do we feel better? We feel better through breathing in and out of the nose. Just regulating the breath, and softly, not deep breaths, not trying to breathe. It's just noticing and focusing on breath can help tremendously. It is actually my number one tool that I have is my breathing when I'm out of sorts, just focusing on that. Now, some people, I've heard this before. I had a client who said, Virginia, I can't focus on breathing because it actually creates more anxiety because I don't know how to breathe right. And so I'm overthinking the breathing. If that's the case, you can distract yourself by listening to some music that maybe doesn't have any dialogue or monologue in it. It doesn't have any script to it. It's just instrumental music. The reason I say this is because the mind will kick in if there is words in the music. It could also work with music that makes you just feel really empowered and really good. If you believe the music, if it is inspired music, just pay attention to what kind of music you're listening to, because that music can that music can definitely take you down or lift you up. Listening to music and the pattern, the harmony of the music can create a soothing in the system. Love what I heard recently about God and the universe. God is order. God is beautiful, systematic order to things. And you can see that in creation. You can see the order of things and the way that a plant is made, all the way to the way our electricity is made and our plumbing is made. Our plumbing is made like the human body. The plants and trees are made. Everything is made in this beautiful, beautiful order. And when we find order in our body, like when we find order in something else, it creates a stabilization in our body. With that said, another way to regulate is by, and I just learned this recently and it makes so much sense, humming. Humming actually activates the vagus nerve, and it is a great way to be able to soothe in discomfort. And I know I have a loved one who is a hummer, and that is so incredibly soothing to her. And it's a great way to soothe. Another way to soothe the nervous system is by going outside in nature and walking. Just the act of menial activity that doesn't require you to think. So that could also be putting the dishes away. That could be going outside and being in your garden and shoveling. That could be I love going to the grocery store. It is such a task I love because I play with the universe to find good parking spaces. And then I put my earbuds in and I listen to something that is really inspiring to me. And I just see the universe just open doors and open doors for me. That is my way of reconnecting to who I am and the divine in those situations. And do you see, we have come further and further away from the problem and allowed ourselves to soothe. Now, does that mean we don't want to become complacent? We don't want to forget about the problem and then just go right back to the problem, right? And so there needs to be a filling of a gap there, because if we continue to distract ourselves and comfort ourselves over and over and over without the next step, that's where patterns occur. And so now that you know that you can't just soothe and expect the bad thing to just go away or not reoccur, what are we going to do next? The next piece is, after we've found the soothing, is focusing on what matters. Finding a way to reframe, finding a way to find perspective instead of judgment, to find preferences instead of judgment, understanding, looking things from the larger whole, looking at things from another person's perspective, looking at things, offering up to the universe. I am open to the best for all involved to happen. Woof! That's a big one, because that means letting go of attachments. That means letting go of what you think might cure your ailments. That means letting go of what you think this other person's intentions are. And you know it from the core of your being that they have it out for you. What if you're wrong? What if you're wrong? What if you're right? But who cares? Because giving someone else the benefit of the doubt is so much more soothing than the other way. Allowing someone to be the person that you have compassion with, and not for, but with, because we're all in this together. Compassion for leads to pity. Compassion for can lead, I'm not saying will lead, but it can lead to placing a victim perspective on the other person. And we always want to empower others instead of making them into victims. And so how can we just give them the benefit of the doubt? Saying they are where they are in their journey. They are where they are. I had this happen years ago. I had a client, and she was also a huge advocate. She was messaging someone back and forth in Facebook Messenger, and she said some pretty awful things about my work. And she was also on my side being just a lovely human, just, one of my best clients that ended up becoming a friend of mine. And I had another prospective client and who was getting ready to I was going to bring her on and I was going to do some jobs for her. She came to me and she said, Virginia, I know that you are close to this person. Here, I'm forwarding you this voice message from this person. I just wanted you to know what she's saying behind your back. And I literally got the voice message of this girl, this woman, this beautiful being that was to me just being very kind and loving and we worked really, really well together. And I heard this other side. And I had to make a decision in that moment. I had to make a decision on whether I was going to give her the benefit of the doubt. And at first I'm crushed, right? Like at first, when it first happened, oh my gosh, a pit in my stomach for days. And it happened pretty quickly. So saying days, it was probably, 48 hours or something, trying to resolve this and trying to meet my soul and understand from my soul's perspective, but also feeling the betrayal and the rejection and what I thought was maybe the truth of how she felt about my work. And I had to live with that pain and what that was. I also had the opportunity to look at my work and see where I could improve and where I was maybe lacking. I also was able to come to her and confront her with the message. So I did confront her with the message and I said, I don't know what to do with this. And so I passed back the message and we had conversation and it was resolved. It was, in my mind, it was 100% resolved because I decided to take the perspective of giving someone the benefit of the doubt. Later on, things showed up again and again, and we eventually parted ways. But I am so glad. I am so thankful that I have the tools that I have to be able to always give people the benefit of the doubt. I'm so glad that I am able to give people compassion when things go wrong. I don't always get that in return, and that is a reflection of my attracting. That is a reflection of me in some way still allowing people in my life that don't have that same reciprocity of compassion. And I'm working on that. It feels good to work on that. I'm never done. Isn't that great? You, my friend, are never done. You're never done in this world figuring out, or let's let go of figuring it out, right? Like you're never done with the process of becoming. You are ever becoming. I am ever becoming. And I am going to mess some things up. I was almost going to use the F word, but I'm trying to stay clean on these episodes so everyone can listen. But I'm going to mess things up. And I've had people reject me and leave because I've messed things up. But I love the idea of not leaving people. I love the idea of allowing people to come and go. I love the idea that the universe, God, is always at my side and allowing the people in where I need reflections and I need some upgrades. And then also allowing the people in that are just so on with the alignments, right? I have women in my life now that are just, we are so on in alignment. We get to talk and play, and we get to talk about the universe, and we get to talk about the law of attraction. We get to talk about manifesting, and we get to talk about all the juicy stuff. I mean, it is incredible. And it's cool because we all have diverse views and diverse ways of seeing things. And to watch things unfold in their lives and in my life, it's such a pleasure. It's such a blessing. I love it so much. And so this reframing tool does not happen in the acute moments where the problem is occurring and you feel like utter crap. It's your job to align. Right now, a huge buzzword is regulation. And actually, it's been going through the school systems for years, self-regulation. It's awesome because they're allowing students to go into these rooms called Restore, where if they feel dysregulated, they can just go into this room and it's quiet and they can rest, they can nap if they want to, but it's their way of calming the nervous system. You must find a way to calm. You must find a way to reset. Do you have to have the answers in order to move on? Do you have to understand all the things that are happening in your body? No, you don't. Gravity has happened for as long as we know, and it did not need to know. We didn't need to know how it works. You don't need to know how your body works. The understanding of it actually does help a lot in the end when you're like, oh, that's what that did. Oh, that's from my past. And that's why that happened. But you don't have to know. And that's the thing that stumbles people. They think they have to know why they're feeling the way they do in order to move on. You don't have to know why. You can allow that feeling to be, and you can work on that feeling to up spiral and get into that neutral place. And then the reframing happens. Then the focusing happens. And when you start focusing on the larger perspective, on the good, that is when you connect in with your inner being, with your soul. And that's why it feels so good. From there, you're allowed to understand that this actually connects you to God, all that is, the vastness of wisdom. And you can understand the good. The good is what matters. Your good is what matters. Can you feel that? What a breath of fresh air. Feeling matters towards your healing. Manifestation. Once you're in that neutral space, you won't stay just neutral for long. You'll have a spark. You'll have an initiation. And focusing on what's good will get you there to that manifestation. I'm really excited for you. I'm really excited for me. I'm really excited for all of us. How can we tap in? We tap in by understanding feel, find, focus, flow. This is the lightness practice. It's a practice that I came up with through all of my learning. They all come together. You know, the learning through what we learn about Jesus and unconditional love, that it is it. God is love. That is it. Through my Christian upbringing, that's how I learned that all that matters really is love. All that matters is understanding, really understanding what Jesus was teaching. And he was teaching us how to get in touch with ourselves and unconditional love. Next, the coming together of Eastern philosophies, the elements, understanding that nature, all of it matters to our nervous system. All of it matters to becoming more. Once we understand that we're not just these high and mighty human creatures walking around the earth and everything is at our disposal, but instead understand how we are connected to nature, how we are all one with nature, how we interplay and co-create with nature. That's a part of it. And then understanding all of the other religions out there all point to finding peace and honoring that there is a greater power that is all around us. There is an immense amount of energy, and that is meant for our becoming. And with that, all of it points to when we take things too seriously, we lose perspective. We lose ourselves. When we incorporate lightness to our work, to our being, anytime, any situation, any little thing in the moment, when we can have a lighter touch and be kind and be considerate and then give it the focus. And when somebody says, "Oh, but I need somebody to push me. I need that driven." That's just focus. See, that's so nice. It's so much lighter. Focusing. So we feel it. We find the comfort. We find ourselves with the peace. We focus on what matters. And then we flow. This is part of The Art of Lightness, the book that I'm writing. It's going well, by the way. And the lightness practice is feel, find, focus, flow. I would love for you to start incorporating this in your life. So when you're out and about and you feel a little stress coming on, pause, allow yourself to feel, then find a tool that will bring the lightness and the peace, comfort, soothing. And you may stay in this finding for a while. Over the weekend, a family member of mine was going through something, and I worked with them on some somatic ways to just find the comfort, because the mind would not stop. Regret was coming in. Guilt was coming in. The mind would not stop. And so every chance that we got, I helped them focus on just finding the comfort. The next is when you found the comfort, you focus on what matters. Does it need a reframe? Do you need to reset something? What needs to happen for the next layer of unfolding to happen that brings the best unconditional love, the best for all involved perspective? We focus there and then we flow. If we can, back to the mind, back to the trauma feeling, we go back into feeling, honoring the feeling. Sometimes we just need to feel, but just feeling without the tool can pull you and spiral you down in some deep, dark places. So make sure you're using the tool to comfort and be there for yourself. Get it all out, but then just be there for yourself for comfort. Don't leave behind the soothing. Focus, flow. So let me know how this goes. This is going to be good. This is going to be real good. And then the question is, how does life just keep getting better and better? All right, that is it for now. So be well, be exceptional, be you, and don't forget to say hi to your soul. If you like this episode, please share it out to somebody who you think would love it. And also, if you feel so inclined, and if today's the day and you're like, oh my gosh, I am just loving these episodes, give us a 5-star review. Go and follow us on YouTube or wherever you do your thing. Maybe it's Spotify, or maybe it's iHeartRadio, or maybe it is Apple. Wherever that is, we're here. I'm here. Talk to you soon. See you later.